video is about how to manage where your attention goes so that A, you can get organized, B, you can focus on the important things, and C, you can manage your life. Schedule time for all of your hats. So what I often say about myself is that I'm pretty good at this stage at getting things done and managing my energy, but organization doesn't come as naturally to me. My mind isn't naturally an organized place. But this way of thinking has really helped me. If you've been around in the productivity world for a second, you would have heard people talk about having context for your to-dos. So David Allen promotes context like tasks to do at your phone, tasks to do at your computer, errands to run, emails to send. Traditional context very much focus on location or what resources you have available. And this can work really well. If you put get prescription renewed on your list with a context of errands, you know that the next time you're at the shopping center, you can get up your errands list and you will get your prescription renewed. But vague and broad context for knowledge workers like computer, that's where things tend to get really fuzzy. You can do a lot of things at your computer. Nearly all of your work might revolve around a computer. This is where hats come in. I've expanded the definition of context to hats. So I have a writer hat, I have a creator hat, I have a marketing hat, I have a researcher hat, I have a social media management hat. And if I don't have time planned out to put each of those hats on, the tasks within those hats don't get done. So something that I would often do would be write down things like create a vision for my life on my YouTube channel, plan out my strategy. And this is high impact work. Like that's stuff that is gonna make a big difference in your life. The hat that I would be wearing to do that work would be like my director hat, my CEO hat. But I never had any time in my week planned out to be wearing that hat. So that stuff just didn't get done. Anything that needs regular attention in your life needs to have a dedicated time where you pay attention to it. So to act on this piece of advice, start by writing down a list of all the hats that you need to wear during a week to make things flow. Write down any context that you need to be in to get things done, and context can definitely be states of mind. Open up your calendar and start creating blocks of time for each hat or each context. For high energy hats, schedule them at your high energy times on the days where you have more time to spare. For low energy hats, schedule them at your low energy times. I don't like rigid scheduling, it makes me feel trapped. You can move these blocks around during your weeks, switch them up from day to day. The goal of it is to make sure that you're putting the amount of time that's needed into wearing each of your hats. So you're blocking out time for your hats, not your particular tasks. So I'm not blocking out time to write specific video scripts. I am blocking out time to wear a writer hat. And then I can decide on the day how I need to fill that time. By making sure that you are wearing the right hats at the right time, you are managing your attention. To manage your attention, manage your emotional stress. So I was talking to my sister the other day. She had had a bad morning with a lot of big emotions. I was checking in on how she was, and she was like, yep, I journaled on it. I feel so much better. I really just felt like numbing. Like I wanted to listen to a crime podcast and just numb my mind completely. But honestly, journaling was much quicker. It's just a quicker way to deal with my emotions. So instead of spending a day or two to numb her mind, binging things, avoiding her feelings, which would inevitably mean that life would go off track a bit, she journaled it out, she let the emotions pass through her, and she moved on. If you have unhealthy ways of responding to big emotions, like isolating when you're sad, binging when you feel shame, scrolling when you are overwhelmed, it can genuinely mess with your life. Your state of mind has a huge impact on your ability to function. And depending on who you are, how emotional you are, and some people are generally more emotionally sensitive than other people, and how you were taught to respond to your emotions, it can have a bigger impact on some people than others. Here's how to manage your emotional states in a healthier way. The first step, recognize, acknowledge, feel. I have a whole video on how to feel your feelings. I'm gonna have that link down below. I've never been a big stream of consciousness journaling kind of gal, but when it comes to big feelings and you're in the midst of those big feelings, journaling it out can be one of the best ways to get yourself to feel the emotions. Spew every thought out on a page, move through the feelings. The second step is asking, how do I want to feel? And the last step is asking, what do I need to do to get there? So maybe you need to take a shower, hit reset, go on a quick walk, tidy your space, whatever it is. It's almost definitely going to be quicker than numbing out your feelings. Before I talk about the next way to manage your attention, to get things done, to focus on the right stuff, the sponsor of this video is Canva. I love Canva. Lately, I've actually been making my thumbnails in Canva, so I made this thumbnail in Canva and this one, because I realized that with their background remover tool, it's so much easier than using any other tool. I've also created video titles like this one, and this one, and this one, and Instagram posts like this, and this, and this, all using Canva Pro. I keep my stuff organized with the unlimited folders that Canva Pro offers with 100 gigabytes of storage so that you'll never misplace your designs. For video editing particularly, Canva is an absolute dream to use. For a cloud-based software, oh, it's so good. There's very little learning curve and you can collaborate on any kind of video. Collaborating on videos is is actually really difficult. So being able to do that in a platform like Canva is great. You can add comments, you can approve things without even leaving the platform. Canva has all of these beautiful assets, 100 million-ish to be clear. There's a lot that you can get access to on Pro. So you can get beautiful stock footage like this, and videos like this, as well as nice fonts like this and this. Canva Pro also has tools like the brand kit, which I use all the time. I don't actually know what I do without the brand kit. It makes it so much easier. You can access all of your colors and all of your fonts really easily. And it has the content planner, so you can create things and publish them all within Canva Pro. You can publish to Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all of the platforms. Most Canva features are free, but for a low subscription to Pro, you get Canva Video and so much more. Team up and save with Canva Pro. For just $12.95 a month for up to 5 people, you and your team can unlock everything that Pro has to offer. Plus, you can get a free 45-day extended trial by going to the link in my description. Try Canva Pro for free today using the link in my description. If you have a reoccurring problem, systemize it. So I realized the other day that something that keeps on interrupting my work is an external hard drive that gets full because I make videos, they're really big. Every once in a while, so much time will get wasted just transferring files from one hard drive to another, clearing things out. So I asked a few questions. At what point do things go wrong? At what point do I need to intervene? And what system can I put in place to prevent this problem before it actually becomes a problem? I bought a bigger hard drive from Officeworks, it was needed. I decided on an expiry date for my videos. After a year is up, unless it's a challenge, we're deleting the raw footage. And I created a task every quarter that I can assign to my sister. Love you, Amy. You may just be finding out about this now. I need to talk to you about it. It's all about transferring things before it becomes an issue. Interruptions to your work, big or small, mess with your attention. To manage your interruptions, start keeping a list of the things that interrupt you. Whatever takes you away from what you need to be focusing on. So you might regularly get sidetracked and just decide to clean your whole room mid-project. You might find that every time your partner comes in when you're working from home, your attention goes down the drain. Then make time to set up systems for those distractions. The word systems sounds so intimidating. All I am saying here is spend 10 minutes journaling on how to stop the problem from becoming a problem. That's it. Have a definite cutoff time to concentrate your mind. There's just something magical about a cutoff time. In a book called Getting Everything Done by Mark Forster, he says, having a definite cutoff time concentrates the mind. I call this an end effect. Our most effective work is usually done at the end of a time period, particularly when there is a very definite cutoff point. We all know the Friday afternoon syndrome, when everyone clears their desk before the weekend. So I work from home, as do many people. And when you work from home, your cutoff times can be really fuzzy. What I'd suggest for anyone who is working for themselves from home, or even if you're working for an employer, create yourself a contract. Give yourself strict hours. If you're an overworker, this is essential. Give yourself a bell for when you finish work via Google Home. Much like a small child needs a bell, you clearly need a bell. I need a bell. I have a bell. I'm talking to myself here, but I'm also talking to anyone who is like me. You may need a bell. When the bell goes off, you get up, you stop. That's it. You're done. Give yourself lunch breaks. Sign this semi-made up contract. Put it on your wall. And when you do find yourself working overtime, ask yourself, how did I end up here? What can I do to make sure this doesn't happen in the future? One thing is, when you don't have genuine cutoff times, you don't have trade-offs. So you might spend an hour wasting time on social media during your workday because you're like, oh, well, I can do it tonight sometime. Well, when you have a cutoff time, you only have a limited amount of time to get things done. You can't just do it after then. Surround yourself with tools to focus your mind. Remove tools that distract your mind. A list of procrastination techniques. Your to-do list, your planner, your capture tool like Draft or Things, a time timer, a note-taking app, snacks. Surround yourself with those kind of things. Tools that focus your mind. Your phone, access to Instagram, access to any social media. Make those things as inaccessible as possible to focus your mind. If you struggle with going on your phone, I have a video on how to stop going on your phone all the time. I'll have that link down below. Ingrain focusing questions in your mind. We live in the world that our questions create. David Copperwriter. The better the questions that you ask yourself, the better answers that you give, and the higher your quality of life. To manage your attention, focus on integrating these questions in your day-to-day. If you start asking these questions regularly, you'll be managing your attention much better than the average person. What is the next right thing to do? Instead of focusing on outcomes, how much you need to get done, letting yourself get overwhelmed, ask yourself, what's the right next step? What's the right next thing to do? I feel like this is a back on track question. When you have this question sort of playing on a loop in your mind, you'll ask yourself, what is the next best thing to do? You'll realize you're not doing it and you'll push your attention towards the right thing. Is doing this the best use of my time? time right now? This is only helpful if you don't think of it as a shame-filled question. Sometimes chilling out on your couch absolutely is the best use of your time right now. Being outside, being at the beach, almost always the best use of your time. Before you start asking this question, make sure that you have a healthy perspective on what a good use of time is. Will future me be grateful that I spent my time on this? This is actually a good alternative to that last question, because future you always will benefit from rest, relaxation, just like they will benefit from you meeting your deadlines and following through on the promises that you made. These are like attention redirectors. Integrate them into your day to focus your attention. If you liked this video, if you're someone who struggles with procrastination, struggles with getting things done, the next video that you should 100% watch is my video titled How to Do Hard Things. It's all about tricking your brain to do the work that you resist, the work that you avoid, that you know is gonna make you feel good when you've done it, but that you just don't feel like doing. I'm gonna have that link down below and on the screen. I appreciate you so very much, and I will see you soon.